Um, oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Kristen. So we're starting now that the recording started. It's 3:45. This is an emergency meeting of the Town of Plainfield Select Board. We have a short agenda. One is to appoint someone to the Select Board. And then the other is, depending on who we appoint to the Select Board, we might need to appoint an auditor. So those are the two items on the agenda. Are there any changes or amendments to the agenda, Patty?
Nope, not for me.
Okay, good. If anybody else thinks we should have a different agenda, you could speak up. I don't see anybody, so I think we'll just go forward with the agenda we have. A couple people have volunteered to be on the Select Board. The reason we're doing this is because Tim Davis resigned recently, and we need to replace him. And the two people I'm familiar with who have volunteered are Carl Bissix and Dan Fingus. I think Carl said he'd be willing to do it through town meeting. And Dan Fingus is our auditor right now. And if we were to appoint him, he would have to resign from being auditor. And unfortunately, I think we really need him to keep doing that job. So I'm kind of reluctant to appoint him at this time without having a replacement for him. He volunteered that his wife would be willing to step in as auditor, and she was highly qualified, which I agreed with when I saw her qualifications. Unfortunately, state law won't allow both of them to be in those positions at the same time. So we can't do it that way. We can't appoint Dan to the Select Board and then appoint his wife to be auditor. So if we appoint Dan to the Select Board, we don't have an auditor. So I'm guessing what I would like to do, I think, is appoint Carl, who very graciously said he would fill in, and he's been on the board before, and I think he'd be a terrific Select Board person. It'd be nice if he wanted to stay longer, but he is willing to stay in until through the town meeting. So if we appointed him and then at some point after town meeting he stepped down, at that point we could appoint someone to replace him, and maybe Dan Fingus would be interested then, and perhaps by then we will have found someone else to take his place as auditor. So I guess that's kind of where my thinking is. Patty, what do you think?
Well, it sounds like we need an auditor more than we need another select person. Is that correct?
That's my opinion as well. And he is terrific. He's a terrific person to have as the auditor. So I mean, we have a quorum. We've got you and me both.
Right.
So we could continue to do business even without a third person, although it would be nice to have a third person.
Right. Yeah. It's unfortunate that rule doesn't let us have Mo as the auditor, but
Right.
if that's the way it is, that's the way it is.
So are you okay with Carl Bissix then?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you want to make a motion?
Sure. I motion that Carl Bissix joins the Select Board of Plainfield forever.
Okay. No, you move that we appoint Carl Bissix to the vacant seat on the Select Board.
Yes.
Is that your motion? Okay.
That's my motion.
Any other discussion? Does anybody else have any questions or concerns about this? Who's on the call? Everybody's muted. I don't see anybody coming on.
Who
to
else
say
is on the
anything.
call? Yeah, who else is on the call?
Let's see. Charlie Cogdill, Alice Merrill, somebody named Charles Scott, plus Eric Blaisdell, the reporter, Kristen Brodsky. Those are the ones I see. Eric Blaisdell has a question. Go ahead, Eric.
Just a quick clarifying one. So Carl would serve until next March, not until like 2 days from now, that when you say town meeting?
No, he said we will be appointing him to the vacant position. The position goes until the next town meeting, where if he wanted to stay on, he'd have to run for re-election. However, he had indicated he might not want to stay on that long, but that's what he'd be appointed to. And certainly he's free to resign anytime he wants. I know there's somebody else on. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Julie's iPad, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's me, Julie Hackbarth. I'm sorry, I should have corrected that.
Oh,
That's all right. Did you have a question or a comment?
No, that would be a good appointment. Nice to have Carl go on.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so now why don't we take the vote? All in favor of appointing Carl Bissix to the Select Board, say aye.
aye.
And I say aye as well. So he's been appointed. And I would really appreciate his willingness to step up and help us with this problem that we have right now.
Yeah,
So I
me
hope
too.
to see everybody at town meeting on Wednesday, where we can do the rest of our business.
Great.
Anything else for today? So because we're not appointing Dan, we don't need to appoint an auditor, so that agenda item doesn't need to be completed. So we're just going to skip that agenda item, and I guess I could take a motion to adjourn.
Okay, let's adjourn.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all your attention to this.
See you Wednesday.
Okay. Bye.
Thank